and they moved north, I mean, to Kazakhstan. And then about 50,000 years ago, 6,000 years ago, they moved into the continent proper, and then they began moving in. So this is basically, I mean, the mitochondrial DNA map. And if you have a chance, I mean, PBS and the History Channel and a couple others had this beautiful thing. There's a lot of published books. There's a doctor from Rice University which is very involved in this thing, and it's a very fascinating thing. In PBS, they just had another thing about the DNA tree of blacks, and they got Oprah Winfrey. They found that she was Irish. So you can imagine. So I mean, she actually has Irish DNA. So this is our map. We're all immigrants. I mean, some been in one place longer than others, but we're all immigrants. And let me see. How I turn the next one? Like, which hour? This one? Okay, then let's talk about the Europeans, since most of us, I mean, Hispanos, and I see the Romanians and the Italians here and whatnot, and whatnot. The great expanders, I mean, were of course the Turks, the Turkic groups, the northern nations, the Mongolians and whatnot, and in our area was the Greeks, and then immediately to that the Romans. And the Romans began pushing everywhere and expanding their culture and expanding the DNA. And they went to Northern Asia, and they went into the Anatolia, which is Turkey and Persia and whatnot. And of course, they went north. And around the 2nd century, they hit their high water mark, which was the northern England, Hadrian's Wall. And that was the end of the Roman Empire, because after that, they couldn't grow, so they began pulling back in. And all the other interesting guys, I mean, came in. All the Ostrogoths and the Visigoths and the Goths. The Goths are usually the kids that wear black. I mean, and paint the nails black is the tribes which form Spain, which form France, which form Germany, Italy, of course, and whatnot. And then on the eastern side, I mean, countries such as the Dacians or the Romanians, which we have our friend here tonight. Of course, they went in the south to Carthage, Algeria, and whatnot. After that, they came in other bounds, and in our case, the Hispanics, was the Moors. The Moors came in and they mingled with the Visigoths. So that's what we have, Moors, and we have white European. And they all came down around the 16th century, and they tell us, I mean, they're going to teach us a few things, and they took over. So that's what happened. Now, migration occurs in two ways. Voluntary, which is colonization, such as the Romans did. Economic, which is our modern situation nowadays. And there's the involuntary. And the involuntary is indentured servants, which there were a lot in this country. I mean, the 17th century. A lot of Europeans came here as semi-slaves, white semi-slaves. And of course, I mean, outright slavery. Where the Africans capture other Africans, they sold them to the Portuguese will sell them to the English, and they will end up in Brazil or United States and whatnot. And so that's the involuntary one. In the 20th century, modern times, since we've been a country, we had quite a lot of immigration. There was the locals, immigrants that came from Asia 15,000 years ago. There was the Europeans, which are the immigrants that came, I mean, 4 centuries ago. And today, the same people sitting next to you. So that's immigration. There's no such thing as a local. We're all immigrants. And anyone that wants to look into it, I mean, just have a test in your wallet. The DNA will show you where you came from. So one last map, and it's this is the immigration today. This is 2006. If you look at the orange side, there's no net immigration. In other words, I mean, there's a decreasing population. Brazil is shown down there, and I don't know why, but anyway, I mean, that's what the map shows in 2006. The green side is 0. It doesn't increase, it doesn't decrease. We have a lot of Venezuelans here. We'll say, hey, I mean, we're increasing with you left Venezuela, but in the grand scheme of things, I mean, it's 0. The blue ones are basically the countries which have a net immigration. People are moving those places in smaller numbers or in larger numbers. And as you noticed, I mean, one places that you see and has some of the greatest immigration is the United States, Canada, of course Europe, and Russia, Australia, Western Africa, and to some extent Argentina, and of course, I mean, I think that must be, I forget exactly what country that is, and it looks like Ghana to me. But anyway, this is what's happening today, and we're moving into this country. Let's see, I have yours also. Jordan made us prepare this one. No, I don't have it. So anyway, here in the United States, people are coming here basically, of course, because of the Great Wars. But now it's for economic purposes. It's yours. And where countries will have a very active GNP, I mean, such as the European countries, Canada, Australia, the United States, of course, which is the most powerful economy in the world, we're finding a lot of immigration comes from social and mainly for economical reasons. Most people don't leave their home for banal situations. They're going to look for adventure. They actually leave because, I mean, they have to, or they need to. In most cases, I mean, sometimes it's political, like you mentioned your history of Cuba and whatnot. And but now, I mean, it's mostly economical. People looking for jobs. So Joe prepared this one, and you can see the different areas. I mean, the blue ones were the original ones. People that came from Alaska down to Canada, to the United States, went into Mexico. The Mongolians that it is down there. Then we have the yellow ones, which are the Europeans, and the white ones that came from Northern Europe and Southern Europe. And now we're having the Latinos coming in from Central America, South America, the Caribbean, everywhere. We, of course, get people from China, we get people from the Pacific Islands, we get people, I mean, from Europe, we get people from Africa, and of course, I mean, from the Middle East, etc. So it's a gigantic, I mean, thing, but it's basically the history of humans. And we're, it's fascinating, and it's just like a segue into what James is going to talk about. We have immigrants here that come here in different ways. Some of us are luckier than others, and we're, sorry about that. Let me turn this off. It's a sound. It's my DNA calling. And so anyway, we come here to this country, like I say, some, I mean, come of us as economically benefits. I mean, we come here because we have a job. Everybody knows about, of course, I mean, the H-1B visas, the H-D visas, and whatnot. Some of us marry Americans. That's one of the ways. Some of us, I mean, have asylum, political asylum. And there's many other ways, but I mean, I don't know if you are familiar with the fact that the last year there were over 1 million new citizens in this country. I'm not talking about kids. That's another 3.5 million. But I mean, there were 1 million nationalized citizens in this country, the highest number in history. So there's a path to become an American citizen in the legal way. Unfortunately, the number of people that come here, I mean, sometimes, I mean, do not have the benefits, don't have the visas. You don't have, I mean, relatives here in the States. I'm not married to an American citizen. And yet they still, I mean, honest people that want to belong, want to be part of the system, want to prosper with the system, want to help this country, want to help themselves. So